In this video, I'm going to quickly show you how I diagnose and repair an oil leak that is toward the back of an engine. I've been seeing a little bit of oil droplets underneath where I park my Yukon, and it appears to be between right around between where the engine and the transmission connect. And so I'm getting underneath it today to see where it's coming from. Let's see, so I can see this is all oily here. That bar that goes across. This is the inspection cover. I see a little bit of oil on that, so that makes me think there's a possibility that this is a rear main seal leak. I see still some oil down here on the bottom of the oil pan. What I'm kind of doing is working my way up, looking for the highest place where I see oil leaking. And it looks like right up here, this would be the, let's see, that would be the oil cooler lines coming in right here. I see oil, looks like might be coming out of that gasket there. Now if you don't have a tow package, you might not have oil cooler lines. There might be just a block off plate there, but that could still leak. I'm going to continue looking up higher to see if there's anything up above there that looks like it's leaking. And no, mine looks nice and dry. I'm not real familiar with this engine, so I don't know everything that's up there. There might be a oil pressure sender that could leak. Sometimes those are located on the back of the engine somewhere up there. Otherwise, you could even have, you know, valve covers and things like that leaking up high, and so I'd want to get underneath the hood and look. But since what I'm seeing here is, I'm betting my oil cooler lines are leaking, and maybe that's dribbled down here to this inspection cover. What I am going to do is go ahead and pull this cover off and look behind it, just to make sure that there's not a lot of oil inside here. And I don't see any oil coming down the back of that, like the rear main seal or even the oil pan gaskets leaking. So that's a good sign. I'm going to put my finger up in there, just feel around. That felt pretty dry. Yeah, it's just a little bit of black residue, but I'm not really feeling like that there's any oil holding there and coming out. So I'm just going to replace that inspection cover, and it looks to me like my problem is that oil cooler lines leaking out of that gasket where it attaches there. So let's go buy one of those gaskets and replace it. Slide that under there. So I've rigged up a 10mm socket with a short extension, and just gonna reach this right up here, get it on each of these lower bolts and break them loose, and take those out. All right, there it goes. And there's the old gasket just fell down. The good news is that pulls out real nice and easy, so we're not going to take anything else off to service this. So now I'm just going to let that drain, and then I'll clean it all up. If your truck has a oil cooler, then your gasket's going to look like this. If your truck just has an oil cooler block off plate, then the gasket looks like this. I have the bolts pushed through, then I'm going to hang this gasket on them. There's one, if your hands don't fit up here, you can always pull that drive shaft out. But it's totally possible to do this with it still in. So there, I have mine in place. I'm just gonna confirm that those holes line up, and they do. I don't think it matters which direction you put that in, but it's always nice to confirm. And now I'm just gonna start threading these on by hand, and then tighten them up with a wrench. Once I'm finished tightening this up, what I'll do is I'll clean up this whole area as best as I can. That way I'll be able to see if it starts leaking again or if there's anything else that's still leaking. And then after this area is nice and clean, I will check my oil level and top it off to replace any oil that was lost while doing this. We just bought 90 acres that we hope to turn into our dream farm, and we plan to post not only the how-tos that we learn along the way, but also the adventure of raising our 4 kids on a dirt road. I hope this video helped inspire you, so please help our little family by clicking that subscribe button. I appreciate you.